Sony announced 3 smartphones at Consumer Electronics Show IFA in Berlin, including 2 flagships to complement the 4K Xperia XZ Premium and 1 super mid-ranger. The super mid-ranger comes in the form of the Xperia XA1 Plus, sitting alongside the XA1 and XA1 Ultra that launched earlier this year, but adding a fingerprint sensor and beefy battery to the party. Here are our first impressions of the XA1 Plus and its edgy display. Sony Xperia XA1 Plus preview. Design: metal design with rounded edges. IP65/68 water and dust resistant. Fingerprint sensor within power button. The Sony Xperia XA1 Plus offers an almost identical design to the Xperia XA1 and XA1 Ultra that we saw at the end of February, but with one key difference: a fingerprint sensor. The Xperia XA1 Plus slots in between the XA1 and XA1 Ultra in terms of size, but where the previous models offered the older style circular side-mounted power button and no fingerprint sensor, the XA1 Plus adopts the newer oval-shaped side power button with a built-in fingerprint sensor, like the XZ1 and XZ1 Compact that it launches alongside. Aside from that, the Xperia XA1 Plus could easily be mistaken for one of its other XA1 siblings. It offers the signature omni-balance flat slab design associated with lower end to the flagship Xperia devices, along with large bezels at the top and bottom of the display and a rear camera lens in the top left corner. Like the XA1 and XA1 Ultra, the XA1 Plus uses one piece of metal on the rear for a more fluid finish than the likes of the Xperia XZ and XZs, but it doesn't have the unibody design of the XZ1 and XZ1 Compact. Instead, joins can be found on the edges of the XA1 Plus, though these edges are more rounded than they were on the XA1 and XA1 Ultra, making it more comfortable to hold, especially compared to the XA1 Ultra, though this is down to physical size too. The speakers and microphone are positioned at the very top and bottom of the XA1 Plus, as they are on the XA1 and XA1 Ultra, which allows for the continuation of a fuss-free design, and like its siblings, the XA1 Plus sets itself apart from other Xperia devices thanks to the edge-to-edge display. This feature sees the rounded edges of the XA1 Plus to curve into the display, though it's not quite as obvious a design feature as the dual-edge screen on the likes of the Samsung Galaxy S8 or Note 8. The edge-to-edge display on the XA range has a more subtle finish with no software enhancement present, though it is preferable to the standard screen on the Xperia XZ1 and XZ1 Compact devices, as it makes things more interesting. The XA1 Plus adds IP65/68 water and dust resistance to the XA range too, something the XA1 and XA1 Ultra missed off their spec sheets earlier this year. It also has the familiar USB Type-C port at the bottom, a headphone jack at the top.